South Dakota Mines fell to 3-4 overall and 2-3 in the RMAC after suffering a 45-22 loss to number 2 Colorado Mines on Saturday in Golden. Hello, I'm Alex Dodd, and welcome to the South Dakota Mines football show presented by the Rapid City Journal. For 20 to 30 minutes each week, we'll take you inside the program with Hard Rockers head coach Charlie Floor. Coach, how's it going today?
I'm good, Alex. How about yourself?
Doing well. It looks like we're actually going to get some nice weather for the game this weekend, so that's got to be exciting. Encourage the crowd to be out there and enjoy a nice day in O'Hara Stadium.
Yeah, with the weather we have this week, I think it's 60s and 70s. Kickoff, I think, is about 67, 68 degrees. And, no better day to go out and tailgate, have a great time with your family, and get to experience a great college football game.
Yeah, there's no guarantees with weather in October here in Western South Dakota, so it's always nice when we get one in the 60s or 70s on a Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about this past weekend before we move into looking at Fort Lewis. You guys fell behind early in the game, but you gained some momentum there in the second half, got 22 points in the last two quarters. How difficult was it to just try and claw back against a team of that caliber, especially with the weapons they have on both sides of the ball? And how impressed were you with the fight that you guys showed at the end of the game there?
Yeah, I think, a lot of people are going to look at the score and be like, oh, it was 45-22. It was a 31-point ball game at one point. With 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, right before half, it was a 14-0 ball game. And we were getting ready to get the football back. They punted, and unfortunately, the ball hit one of our players. They were able to recover it to make it a 21-0 ball game. And then, to open up the second half, we had a few special teams blunders. We roughed the punter one time, and then, then we had 12 guys on the field on a 4th and 10, and got it to a 4th and 5. They ended up going for it, and then they ended up scoring to make it 28-0. So, my message to the team, even at halftime is, it's a 2-possession game with 2 minutes to go before we get into halftime. We were that close. Our kids fought extremely hard. Our defensive side of the football played extremely well the first half. Offensively, we didn't put our defense in, very positive situations. So, that was my message at halftime. We're right in it. We're playing with one of the top teams in the country at their place. Very proud of our kids, and how are we going to respond? And then, the second half, like you'd mentioned, we came out and other than a few blunders in defense, special teams, and offense, we played really well the second half. So not a lot of teams have scored that many points against them. I think our kids now understand how close we are as a football program to playing with now the new number one team in the country.
Yeah, as you mentioned, they moved up to number one this past week. And rightfully so with the momentum that they have right now. But how small is that margin of error against a program like that? You mentioned just a few mistakes on special teams. You finished the game with the one turnover and then the one special teams muff. But how small is that margin of error against a team like that?
Extremely small. There's no doubt about it. And, you got a team, you look across the other sideline, and I think they have 17 sixth-year kids within their football team. They're playing extremely well. Those kids have played together for a long period of time. And it showed, when we gave them opportunities, they were able to take advantage of those opportunities. If we don't give them free plays or free possessions, maybe they don't make those. So again, great learning lesson for our football team, knowing, hey, we've only got 7 seniors. We have a lot of young kids within our program that played a lot of critical downs against that football team. And knowing we're still 1 or 2 plays away from truly being in that game late into the fourth quarter.
Jaden got some momentum there in the second half too. He finished 28 of 39 for 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Was it good to see him kind of pick up some momentum in that game too and go toe-to-toe with one of the best quarterbacks in the country?
Yeah, it was great to see those 2 kids. My opinion, the 2 best quarterbacks in our conference were on the field that day. And, you got a guy over there that's a Harlan Hill winner. And, our player, was last year the second team player of the year or player in the conference. So it was good to kind of see those 2 kids battle back and forth. And, they made a few bigger plays than we did. But, it was good to see, Jaden kind of get back into a rhythm, trusting his guys throughout, the offensive side and, move the ball up and down the field against one of the top defenses in the country.
And then Ben Nolan, a school record, 16 receptions, got 137 yards. Just how big of an impact has he made for you guys this year? He's been such a reliable target for you guys in the passing game.
He has, honestly, I didn't even know there was a school record broken until after the game. Those are things that, whatever we're doing, we need to do to try and win the football game. That's our kind of offensive motto. So, proud of Ben and, the 16 catches he was able to have in that football game. And, the thing is, he's been a huge part of our offense. A lot of people have focused attention, but we also had a kid that scored 3 touchdowns on only 5 receptions. And, I think because of what some of, other people have been able to do, it's really been able to open up other people within our offense to make plays.
How good has that been the last few weeks to see some other guys get involved in the passing game? You mentioned Max has had a great last few weeks for you guys. How good has it been to see other guys step up into that role and make plays?
It's been big. We feel, I know last year a lot of people will go back and, you had a lot of production with those 2 kids, with Jeremiah Bridges and Isaiah Eastman. And, maybe we didn't have that third person to stretch the field or to make plays. I think those 2 are maybe the main focus, but the progress that the newcomers have been able to have, the progress that the people within our own program have put a lot of time and effort in to put them in a position just makes us a little bit more dangerous within the offensive side. And, if we can put all things together with throwing the ball, making our proper reads, catching the football, protecting up front, running the football extremely well, and, all of those things we look to do just makes us that much more challenging to defend.
What have you noticed about Ben since he's come onto the program, just in terms of his maturity? I mean, this is a guy that's, who's had multiple ACL injuries, had a successful career at Northern State. And then also, again, he's a grown man. I mean, this guy's married, playing on your team. Just what have you noticed about his maturity in the locker room and what he brings from that standpoint?
Yeah, and like I talked about before with us and kind of our lack of older players within our football team, we have guys with experience, but, maybe not as much experience as what a guy like Ben has. He comes from a coaching family. His, dad's a high school coach down in Georgia. He gets it. He understands, that some of those small things, really do matter within a football game. And, he just kind of brings that extra added dimension from a leadership standpoint of, he's been, very willing to put himself out there and talk with some of those younger kids. Like you mentioned, he's married. He has a wife at home. Most student athletes, when they're done, they go home and, spend time with their wives. And, he's not one of those kids. He makes sure that the locker room is taken care of first, that his position group is taken care of, that anybody's taken care of first before he goes home, just very similar to as a coach in what we do. So, yeah, he's been a great addition to our football team, definitely on the field, but there's been a lot of value off the field in what he's been able to bring.
Kind of want to shift gears to the run game a little bit. You guys maybe haven't been able to pick up as much traction in that area as you wanted to at times this year. What do you want to see from that unit this week in an opportunity to bounce back?
Yeah, just consistency within what we're doing. You go back in the Colorado Mines game, a lot of our negative plays were pressures forced upon by Colorado Mines within the pass game side of things, which caused our rushing yards to not look as good as what they've typically been. So, that's something we'll continue to address this week, and make sure we're protecting the passer so he's not taking negative plays, and just again continue to build continuity within our offensive line, making sure our running backs are all on the same page of where things should be hitting. We've got a plethora of backs that have been able to run extremely well, and just get back to ground zero. Trust the offensive line, back to the basics up front, technique, fundamentals, using our keys, different things there. So, expecting our offensive line to get back and do the things we know we're capable of doing.
Then obviously on Saturday night, you guys had some issues with transportation. But first of all, just how thankful are you that everybody made it out safely, and also how thankful are you for the way that the community there in Lusk pitched in to help you guys out?
Yeah, obviously a tough situation for our football team Saturday night coming back. everybody is safe. We all made it back to Rapid City later on that night, addressing the things that we need to address. And, I know in this area, hopefully a lot of less people and people in Niobrara County, can hear me, and very thankful for what those people were able to do. And I apologize for getting emotional, because those are, never easy for anybody. And for those people to step up and make sure our kids were taken care of, means the world to me, means the world to our parents, means the world to a lot of people. So today and the last couple of days, I've been sending out some emails and thank you cards to those people, and can't thank them enough for what they were able to do.
Well, Coach, we're certainly glad that you guys made it back okay, and that everything worked out. And now, thankfully, we can just look forward to football on Saturday in Rapid City. But shifting gears in that perspective too, you guys host Fort Lewis. This is a program that's had some struggles over the last few years, and certainly this year as well. But just how excited are you guys to be back on your home turf with an opportunity to go out and execute on the field?
Yeah, Monday's practice, we were coming off a very tough loss, obviously, down at Colorado Mines, but I'm so proud of our kids and how they responded. We had a very tough team meeting Monday night, but after that team meeting, we came out in the practice field, and our kids were so energetic. They were so happy to see one another. Obviously, there were some kids that weren't on the trip that, they didn't experience what some of our kids went through. So from that standpoint, it was great to see our football family back fully intact and doing the thing that we love. We got a lot of good work in that Monday night, knowing we've got an opponent this Saturday. The things we talked about is we've got to fix us. I can't look at the program that's coming in and playing us this Saturday. There's a lot of things within our program on the football side of things that we've got to get fixed that, cost us a few possessions and different things the last couple of weeks. And, now's a great opportunity for us to continue to look at our program within the offense, defense, special team side of things that we need to fix to make sure that we're putting our kids in a successful situation to come away with a win on our home turf this Saturday.
I'm sure all those situations probably put things in a different perspective for you guys. But how exciting is it that you just get the opportunity to play a game? That you can get back to the practice field and that you can turn your attention back to football. How do you feel like that kind of perspective maybe a shifted for you guys a little bit?
Anytime you kind of have a life-threatening event, unfortunately it does. It makes you rethink about a lot of things and puts a lot of things in perspective. There were a lot of hugs out on the practice field. It was just so good to see our team back together. And, we're so fortunate to have everybody safe and get away from that incident. So, practice even yesterday, was very good. It was very challenging for our guys. We're still trying to put our kids through a tough practice, every single day this week, knowing, we've got a football game this Saturday. We know there's definitely more to life than football, but, I think our kids need football right now because that's really brought our team together. They all care for one another. They all love one another, and they know that brotherhood that we've been able to establish within our program is going to get us through a tough situation. And, we're going to be ready to play Saturday. I'm really, really, happy to say that.
What do you see from Fort Lewis when you look at them on film? Who are some guys that stand out for them on film, and maybe some points of emphasis for you guys going into the weekend?
Yeah, their quarterback is doing a really good job. He's distributing the ball, around really well. They're an improved football team. That's, first and foremost, when you look at them, they've gotten better from week 1 to week 7. They've continued to improve in all 3 phases. They're not willing to come in here and not take chances. They've done a lot of different things to put them in situations to try and win football games. Their kids are believing in their systems. They play extremely hard. So those are the things that I look at within a program, with where they're at. So, their quarterback's doing a really good job. Defensively, they've got two really good DBs that are putting a lot of pressure on some receivers, and we feel they may come in and continue to do that and force us to, hey, can you run the football? You say you can, but you haven't been able to do that. So, we know we're going to have to be prepared there. So, it's going to be a tough football game. They're going to come in here and do everything they can to get a win. And, our main focus this week is like I said, we got to take care of us, get the things we need to get fixed, and kind of, see where things go from there.
What things do you want to see on Saturday that would make you leave the field feeling really great about your football team in terms of execution?
We did last week a good job of taking care of the football. We did have the one interception, but Colorado Mines is a really good defense, and they had some other opportunities, where they tried stripping the ball out and doing different things, and we were able to take care of the ball. We also got a turnover last week, which again was huge for us. First play of the game, Trey Brooks had a big pick on their sideline, and so from that standpoint, our guys just continue to be taking care of the football or getting the football back. The mental side of things, we made some blunders within. We had 12 guys on the field twice. We had a special teams blunder that we can get fixed, and we're working on a lot of those situations this week. So those are really the main things that I want our guys to focus on, and most importantly, enjoy the process. The process is very tough. No matter if you're in the situation that our kids were in and how we respond from that, or those kids that don't. Or haven't been able to experience the things that our kids did this past weekend. And you got to enjoy the process. It's tough. It's a grind. Yes, it's a football game, but we've got to have fun. We got to celebrate every moment. So if a kid in practice, if he gets an interception, the teammates need to celebrate with him. If we score a touchdown in practice, we need to celebrate in practice like we're going to do on a game. And again, all of that energy is going to feed into your team. It's going to feed into, Saturday when those plays do happen, and hoping for a lot of celebration in all three phases.
You guys are entering the home stretch here of your schedule as November is bearing down on us. How important is this weekend just to set the tone for this last 4-game stretch of your season to finish strong?
Yeah, it's big. Obviously we focus on the next game, and that's our sole focus this week, not really the following 3 weeks after that. So we're taking the proper steps we need to make sure that we're putting the best product on the field. Knowing after that, we've got two more tough road trips. We've got CSU Pueblo coming here for Senior Day, who's again at one point was receiving votes and a top 2-3 team in the conference. So we know there's a lot of things ahead, but we've got to focus on us this week. Make sure we do everything that we can to make sure that week 8 ends in the way we want it to end.
And then kind of lastly, I've seen, over the past, couple of years of me being here, you interacting with maybe some just football fans across the country that talk about getting to a game at O'Hara Stadium. And one of those guys is coming here this weekend. How important do you think that is for you and for this program, just to hype up your stadium and the unique atmosphere that you guys have there here in Rapid City?
I think it's huge. We're really excited to have Jay come and, experience one of our football games. As you mentioned, we have probably one of the most unique stadiums in the country. And, it is from a marketing standpoint, social media, to bring that type of positive energy, to South Dakota Mines into the Rapid City area. I know from the football program side of things, we're going to do everything that we can to make sure he's having a great experience. Hopefully the city of Rapid City gets, kind of behind it and, and sees that this is big for our area, that's big for our university and big for our football program. So, anything we can do to continue to help promote South Dakota Mines and our football program, we're going to help with. And we do have a special brand. We do have a special school, and we're excited for that opportunity, no doubt.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining me. Hard Rockers kick off at noon on Saturday against Fort Lewis at O'Hara Stadium. Coach, we'll do this again next week. It's been a pleasure to have you on the program this year, and looking forward to keeping this thing going.
Sounds great, Alex. Thanks for everything you're doing for us.
No problem. And you can continue to follow along on the Rapid City Journal for the most complete coverage of Hard Rocker athletics.